did she say?
Imagine speaking the most devastating plot twist of your entire life in your sleep, and then immediately rolling over and forgetting it. Welcome back to Hill House. If episode 1 was Stephen's journey through complete denial, episode 2 drags us into stage 2 of grief. Shirley's control-obsessed anger. Open Casket is Shirley's episode. She's a control freak mortician running a funeral home with her husband, Kevin. Her whole life is about keeping absolute control because her childhood was completely chaotic and traumatic. She is constantly furious. She is angry at her dad for keeping secrets, angry at Steve for writing his ghost book, and secretly angry at Nell for repeating their mother's tragic fate. This episode begins with Shirley meeting a little boy named Max. He is terrified of seeing his grandmother in her casket because her ghostly, decaying figure has been standing in his bedroom for multiple nights. Shirley's core instinct is control. She promises Max she can fix her, erasing the terror. It is her job to do so. We see the root of this behavior in a flashback to her childhood. Young Shirley finds a box of stray, motherless kittens in the outhouse off the grounds of Hill House. She warns her father that they may become prey to the dogs the kids have been hearing on the grounds. This confuses Mr. Dudley, who states that neither he nor his wife have ever seen any dogs. Nonetheless, Shirley immediately takes on the role of a protector. She creates a strict schedule for feeding them, and she builds them a home. She convinces herself that if she just follows the rules perfectly, she can keep them alive. With these kittens, we see Shirley's first brush with death. One day, Shirley wakes up to find one of the kittens is dead. As her father digs up a little burial ground, her mother comes out with a mini-decorated casket for the kitten. Olivia tells her that she was a very special cat and she deserves a special place to rest. Shirley wanting to see the kitten before saying goodbye alludes to why some funerals have open caskets. It is a way to say goodbye to a loved one, and that is exactly why this episode is called Open Casket. Her father even explains what a eulogy is so Shirley can say something about her beloved kitten, but Shirley suddenly exclaims that the kitten is alive when she sees its mouth moving. It turns out it was just a bug crawling out of its mouth. Eventually, all the other kittens die as well. Olivia tries to explain the death of the kittens to young Shirley, but the conversation makes Shirley upset and causes a migraine for Olivia. Later, Olivia and Hugh argue about the experience. Olivia believes it was reckless for Hugh to allow Shirley to care for diseased kittens that were destined to die. However, Hugh argues that it was a simple mistake that will not happen again. In the present, Shirley talks with her business partner and husband, Kevin. Kevin tells her that their profits are slipping. This is because Shirley keeps offering free or discounted funeral services to help families in need who cannot afford them. Kevin assures her that they will be heading into financial difficulties if she continues. It is another example of how Shirley wants to fix things for people, and it shows her big heart. We see another example of this in a 6-year flashback. Shirley and Stephen are at a rehabilitation center, writing a check to cover Luke's rehab. Both are unsettled by the massive price of $6,000 a month, but Shirley assures him that Luke will take the first month, and they will return in a couple of weeks to see what else can be done. As the Crane children bid goodbye to Luke, Shirley is adamant that he can actually do this.
He can do it.
Back in the present, Shirley and Kevin's conversation is interrupted. Max's father enters the parlor with a box containing photographs and keepsakes of his mother. This instantly reminds Shirley of the box her mother made for her kitten when she was younger. In this scene, we also see a mysterious man from Shirley's past, whom we will learn more about later, as well as Shirley finding a secret checkbook belonging to her husband. We also see denial passed down to the next generation when Shirley dismisses her son's fears about Halloween ghosts. Her son claims he needs a good costume or else the ghosts will come after him. She insists they aren't real, perfectly echoing Stephen's exact brand of skepticism. Flashback to the past. Young Theo wakes up Shirley from her sleep to ask why she is banging on the wall. Shirley tells her that it is not her and alerts her that the dogs are barking again. Suddenly, the banging on the wall grows louder. This causes sheer panic for the two girls, who scream out for help. Yet, their father doesn't really believe them because he didn't hear anything himself.
It's
Shirley wakes moments later in the present day to the ringing of her phone. It turns out she was reliving that terrifying moment in her dream. This is the exact second Shirley finds out from a distraught Stephen that Nell is dead and that she took her own life. Shirley is reluctant to believe Stephen and asks how he knows, implying that their father is lying. As the truth sinks in, Shirley becomes increasingly angry. She is furious because she explicitly told Stephen to find Nell when she was in trouble. Like I said in my last video, Stephen is the oldest, and it was his job to make sure everything was okay. Shirley is also angry at their father, saying he cannot do this to them again. She is furious that he is hiding the details of Nell's death, just like he hid how their mother died. Shirley hangs up the phone and leaves to the guest house to comfort Theo, but she stops when the lights turn on and a scream comes from inside. By morning, Shirley tells her assistant Andy to pick up Nell's body and bring her back to the funeral parlor so they can begin the proceedings. Despite Theo and Kevin suggesting that Shirley should let another branch handle the funeral, Shirley is adamant. She will be hosting the funeral because Nell is her sister, and she owes her.
Want to send her to Carlisle.
That same day is Max's grandmother's funeral. Shirley notices Max refusing to go near the open casket. This gets Shirley caught up in a flashback to the day of her mother's funeral, where she also found it difficult to look into the casket. But back then, a kind funeral director helped her out. Shirley realized that he fixed her mother to look exactly the way she remembered her. This is the definitive moment that shaped her entire career. When Nell's body arrives at the funeral parlor, Theo is unable to bear the experience. She apologizes to Shirley and retreats to her guest house. Downstairs, Shirley finally sees her sister and begins working on her. She seems completely unfazed on the outside, as she tells Stephen to grab their father and Luke and return home as quickly as they can.
Steve, do you know what I'm doing right now? I'm elbow deep in our sister's chest cavity, pulling out a bag of her internal organs. That's what happens when a body's autopsied and I have to take it out. You have to get two grown men to a goddamn airport. Get it done.
What really hits me is a small flashback with young Shirley, the twins, and the kittens back in Hill House. Shirley is showing the twins how to feed the baby kittens when Luke says, "There are 5 of them, like 5 of us." This results in Nell pointing at a kitten and saying, "That one is me." Tragically, that exact kitten is the very first one to die, and the one Shirley holds a mini funeral for. Knowing that Nell grows up to be the first of the Crane siblings to die is absolutely heartbreaking. While Shirley is working on Nell in the downstairs parlor, she is interrupted by her children, Jaden and Allie. She stops what she is doing and leaves the room to console them. She tells them that she will not lie, and that they can ask any question they want. However, she admits she does not have all the answers, especially when they ask where their aunt went after death. Shirley simply tells them to find their favorite photograph with Nell, so she can hang it at the funeral. While Shirley starts putting makeup on Nell, we see a heart-wrenching flashback to Shirley doing Nellie's makeup on her wedding day. Shirley is distracted when she notices a cab pull up outside. Luke shows up high, having run away from rehab just a week prior. Luke explains that he wanted to be there for Nell's big day, but Shirley rebukes him. She tells him that the day is about Nell, not him. She hands him money to pay for the cab and bitterly tells him he can use the rest to buy more drugs. She tells him it is the last cent he will ever get from her after she tried time and time again to help him get clean. Luke reluctantly takes the cash and leaves, with Nell completely unaware that her twin brother was even there. Afterward, Shirley promises Nell that she will have a perfect wedding, while Nell softly says it will almost be perfect. She likely means it can't be perfect without her twin brother and her mother there. Back in the present, Shirley apologizes to Nell's corpse after finally breaking down. But then Shirley is distracted when she begins experiencing visions of insects crawling from Nell's mouth, just like with the kittens when she was younger. She investigates, but finds nothing there. She simply sobs against her baby sister's body. It is clear she is passing this off as grief and not a paranormal experience. Yet, just as Shirley finishes and is about to leave the room, she sees a vision of her dead mother holding the decorated box where her first dead kitten laid. She stares, but the vision quickly disappears upon hearing a cat shriek nearby. As Shirley puts away the photo of Nellie from her wedding, she shuts off the lights and goes upstairs. But in the corner, we see a replica of a house, and the lights flash off twice. Earlier in the episode, when talking with her son about his Halloween costume, he accidentally knocked over this small replica. It is the Forever House. Let's take a big step back to the beginning of the episode. Back in the past, Olivia Crane explains to young Shirley that she is drawing a blueprint for their Forever House. It is the home they will build once Hill House is fixed and sold. She explains how a house is like a body. The dining room is the heart, the walls are bones, and the pipes are veins. Nellie interrupts the two, asking if Olivia will have a tea party with her, but Olivia refuses because she has to work. Instead, Olivia allows them to play outside, but instills a strict rule. They must return home the moment the porch light is flashed twice. It is an incredibly important rule that she asks Nellie to repeat, and even Luke knows it by heart.
You good, Luke?
Uh-huh.
Don't forget the rule. Lights flash.
Time to come home.
Also, just as Shirley leaves, Luke catches a glimpse of a young girl in the distance of Hill House, but receives no response when he waves. This is our first small glimpse of Luke's imaginary friend, whom we learn more about later on. Rewatching this show as an adult myself makes me really relate to Shirley more. I understand her obsession with control. Ending the episode with those porch lights flashing alludes to Nell finally coming home. Shirley having a replica of the Forever House means that conversation with her mother stuck with her for her entire life. Shirley spent her entire life trying to build a perfect, controlled reality to escape the trauma of her childhood, keeping the memory of the Forever House alive on her shelf. Shirley wanted to fix everything, but some things just stay broken. Next up is episode 3, where we dive into Theo's story. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.